So I was just watching this YouTube channel. It's a channel I watch occasionally. What is it called? It's called, is it Brian Squatties? Well, I'm not even sure at this point, but she said something so funny. She said, William on a scooter is so cringe. I thought that was hysterically funny. Um, so apparently William was riding around Windsor in a scooter the other day, and the media was there to capture it. Either the media was there to capture it, or William's team sent the video of it to the media, and they ran with it and made it a whole thing. It was a whole event that William was riding around on a scooter at Windsor Castle. George and the little boy Louis were not with him apparently, because typically it would be kids would be on the scooter, but they were not with their dad. It was just their dad riding around Windsor on a scooter. So Brian Squatties said that it was a cry for help, no, cry for desperation, cry for attention, that William got on this scooter and that the media was conveniently there for him to see him and to film him and to broadcast it. Look, I mean, there have been a lot of interesting, efforts lately. I mean, William and the kids at the Taylor Swift concert, that's clearly a PR thing. I don't want to say stunt because it's early in the morning, but yeah, PR. Then you had William, he was at a game recently, and some of the pictures I saw, he was literally out of his seat screaming like a commoner. And his jacket kind of flying. And I was like, wow, that's a lot of enthusiasm for a prince. You never see him like that. He's always so self-contained. So he has this one moment where he's just human, but still it's kind of like, wow, that's a lot of enthusiasm. And it's very highly unusual even for him, and you wonder whether he is trying too hard, that he's as cool as Harry, or that he's just being himself for a moment and so he's getting judged. I mean, it's a lot of different things, but it was kind of, to me, very what's the word? It was a lot. Seeing him like that was like, wow, that's a lot of enthusiasm, king to be, very commoner-ish. So there was that. And what else did he do? Well, there was the scooter incident. And then we heard that he and Kate had privately sent money to Jamaica, which is something that Meghan and Harry have been doing through their foundation. It's like, giving money, whereas William and Kate were more kind of showing up empty-handed or just not showing up at all. I mean, they're not into sort of giving money. It's not their brand. So recently we heard that they had privately given money to victims of the hurricanes in the Caribbean and Jamaica and so on, and we were, informed about the connection to Bob Marley, and we know that Meghan and Harry were recently in Jamaica for the Bob Marley premiere. So there's been clearly, then we heard that he's going to be on this ITV documentary in the fall, and he's going to be starring in this ITV documentary. And so I don't know that I've ever seen him as in a starring role in a documentary that he's participating in willingly versus somebody making a documentary about him. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it would be the first time that I'm seeing him in a documentary. And so we know Harry and Meghan, they did their documentary. So it just seems like, yeah, there's this whole effort on his part and the part of his team to make him more like Harry. They're trying to make him more like Harry and less like William with these PR stunts. And kudos to Harry for being so sort of inspiring that his brother, the king to be, is and his team are working overtime trying to imitate all of his moves, you know. What can I say? I mean, look, William on the scooter, would I say he was cringe? I don't know if I would say that he was cringe. I think it's funny that the YouTuber thought he was cringe. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion on that. I don't know if I would personally say he was cringe, but I would say that it's clear that he's trying, he's in active competition with Harry. Him and his team are still actively trying to compete with Harry and Meghan, so it's like they're pulling. I think they even hired some new guy who was, this guy is like some strange background. I mean, he's not the typical type of a hire that they hired him to head their team of what I don't even remember. I don't remember some guy that's completely off brand. You know what I mean? So it's sort of clear that they are still watching Harry and Meghan. They are still impressed with what they see because imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. So they are trying to imitate Harry and Meghan, their way, even in terms of how they do their public appearances now, where they're not making royal engagements every day. They pick and choose, they cherry pick, if you will, what they want to do when they want to do it. Their children are completely absent from the public view. And we saw William and Kate for 6 months try to do the same thing, So there's that. It's interesting. I think that they're trying to be Harry and Meghan, rather than Harry and Meghan trying to be more like Kate and William. William and Kate are trying to be more like Harry and Meghan, and I think it's Harry and Meghan should be flattered because they're trying to imitate them because they are impressed with what they see. Yeah, you remember how Harry was on that bobsled at the winter, in Canada in January when he and Meghan had gone for the 1 year before Invictus. So William has to show that he's also cool. And then, you had the thing with the helicopter where he got um, Harry's honors from his father, because Harry was given an award in the U.S. by an aviation society, and I think was John Travolta there. I'm not even sure, but so we have to see that William too is this great helicopter pilot, and so there's competition and it's active and it's interesting because I don't think at this point Harry and Meghan are really looking to see what they are doing over in England. I think Harry and Meghan are really just being themselves and doing Harry and Meghan. And the royal family, however, are watching. And even when they're out of the public view, when Harry and Meghan are out of the public view, they watch even that. And they try to pattern their own sort of, you know, approach to this life the way Harry and Meghan do it, which is very interesting, I've got to say. What are your thoughts on that? Am I like seeing things that are not there? Or do you agree that Prince William is trying to be Harry and William and Kate are trying to be Harry and Meghan or to imitate them, certainly? Right? Let me know your thoughts on that, right? I mean, I'm not saying it's cringe, but I'm saying it's interesting.